Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 4.
We got a gray and gloomy start to our Tuesday with some in the valley reporting snow and fog and some slick roads from the overnight rain. Our chief meteorologist Hutch Johnson joins us with what we can expect on your evening commute. Hey Hutch.
All right, yes, I hope you are all having a wonderful Tuesday as we've had a soupy day across the valley. Radar shows just a couple of blips in Norman County and Polk County. That's not the main concern tonight. The heaviest of the precipitation way off to the south and east, but notice the lingering clouds. Just soupy out there, and you're right. Roads are a little on the wet side heading into the evening. Look at the cold air moving in from our western counties with a northwest flow there. We still have southerly winds across much of Minnesota holding temperatures at bay there, but it's that flow of air with more humidity in it that's keeping things on the soupy side out east. Here is a look at our concern as the winds are shifting across the region. We have a little bit of gusty winds out to the west, but this is causing a reduced visibility across Lakes Country. So there is areas of fog. Under 2 miles of visibility from Baudette through Bemidji, and at times Detroit Lakes reporting 0 visibility. So keep that in mind as you're out and about traveling. You can even see it here as we look across the Red River into beautiful but foggy Minnesota this evening. Temperatures fairly steady through the evening. Winds will become more northwesterly and we'll see some changes into your Wednesday. But fog will be a persistent problem into the overnight. I'll have details in hour by hour style here in just a few moments.
All right, thanks so much, Hutch. And here's a look at today's top 4 at 4. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has introduced a coronavirus relief package for small businesses in the hospitality industry. The governor says restaurants and bars are suffering the most under COVID-19 restrictions. So officials are coming up with something to help them. That's an eviction moratorium for small businesses so they aren't forced out of their spaces. And Fargo school board members are expected to whittle down the list of potential names for Woodrow Wilson High School. More than 100 ideas were initially submitted, and the board meets tonight with plans to decide the 5 favorites. The district is renaming the school after concerns raised about the 28th president's racist views and policies. And an historical day today for the New York Stock Exchange as the Dow Jones Industrial Average surpasses 30,000 for the first time. The Dow rallied around midday amid positive news on COVID-19 vaccines, hope for a strong economic recovery in 2021, and easing of political uncertainty as the Trump administration approved the start of the presidential transition. And the manufacturer of the powerful painkiller OxyContin has pleaded guilty to federal charges for its role in the opioid crisis. In a virtual hearing Tuesday, Purdue Pharma admitted to impeding government efforts to combat the crisis. It's also admitted to paying doctors to write more prescriptions for its painkillers. The opioid crisis is linked to more than 470,000 deaths in the last 20 years. And that wraps up today's Top 4 at 4. Now here's the rest of your local news. Many teachers and parents have reached out to us expressing concerns about returning back to school after the Thanksgiving holiday because of large gatherings, and that might be happening. We brought your concerns to Sanford Doug Griffin today, who agrees, adding they also have concerns about what is to come after the holiday.
I will comment. We do have concerns about the holiday gathering and the period of time after that. So it seems to make some sense to exercise some caution. But again, a matter for the individual school districts to get. I know Fargo and West Fargo are undertaking a testing strategy for teachers as well. I think this just behooves. I think the better we can collectively do in controlling the spread of the virus with all the things, the masking, social distancing, taking care to really keep our Thanksgiving holidays kind of more in just your local household, the sooner we can get our kids fully back to school, which they really need.
Dr. Griffin adds, other than being a frontline worker caring for COVID-19, he can't imagine a more difficult challenge than making the decision about what's right for school children. And Sanford also announced the addition of 14 new patient rooms and support space at Sanford Medical Center in Fargo. The new unit began caring for patients last Friday. Since the beginning of the pandemic, Sanford Fargo has added 172 total beds to meet the demand for hospital care. Another 25 beds are expected to be added in December. And Governor Doug Burgum is responding to North Dakota Supreme Court opinion on filling an empty State House seat. The governor released a statement saying this case involved a question of the governor's constitutional responsibility in a set of circumstances never before seen in North Dakota. The Supreme Court determined that responsibility is not applicable in this case. While we disagree with the findings, we respect the court's opinion and will continue to do our very best every day to serve the citizens of North Dakota. In Minnesota's major hospitals and healthcare systems are stepping up their urgency ahead of Thanksgiving this week. WCCO's David Schumann shows us the campaign that declares there's no more time to be Minnesota nice.
Healthcare professionals, from shift nurses to executives, are desperate right now to capture Minnesota's attention. Cue the new Fight COVID campaign.
We need to pull this lever, which is a little bit more in your face.
One of the first two posters, "We're your last chance." And is grandma's pumpkin pie really to die for?
I think it's time to get pretty aggressive.
These doctors who live the situation every day have many facts or numbers to convey the urgency, like the dangerous lack of staffing right now.
Last week, almost 7,000 hospital healthcare workers were out on one day. That limits our capacity to care for hospitalized patients, both COVID and not COVID.
But Dr. Andrew Olson with mHealth Fairview feels stories are more effective than statistics.
My dad is quite ill with cancer, and we're not getting together with Thanksgiving this year. And that's heartbreaking. But to see my dad step up and say, you know what, it's not the right choice this year, guys, gives me great hope for the state.
The medical professionals I talked to didn't give me all doom and gloom. Why? It's because of the people here.
I would rather be in no other state than Minnesota with the tenacity.
We need every Minnesotan to show the grit and the resolve that we know Minnesotans have.
And if more and more people are following the rules, I think that more and more people will follow the rules.
David Schumann, WCCO 4 News.
One of those doctors said, as bad as things may look right now, it's not a foregone conclusion. This will be a disaster. He says we all have the power to stop this pandemic. And if you're planning on partying this holiday season, make sure to designate a sober driver. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety announced an extra DWI enforcement campaign starting tomorrow and running on weekends through December 31st. DPS said that due to impaired driving, the holidays are a tragic time for many. Thanksgiving is tied with July 4th for highest percentage of drunk driving-related fatalities, which were 413 between 2015 and 2019. And a Thanksgiving tradition continues at the White House. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump hosted the annual turkey pardoning ceremony today. The president named corn as the national Thanksgiving turkey. The lucky turkey got the official pardon in the Rose Garden. Corn got the special honor after beating out another turkey, Cobb, in an online poll. Both birds will live out the rest of their days at Iowa State University, where they'll take part in the school's poultry sciences program. And if you're wondering how you can spread some holiday cheer, we'd like to remind you of our virtual food drive. We're teaming up with the Great Plains Food Bank, and we'd really like for you to get involved. To find out more about how you can help local families in need, download our free VNL News app, look for the virtual food drive, and click to donate. And coming up on Valley News Live at 4, President-elect Joe Biden has begun filling out his cabinet. We'll have the latest next.
And a time lapse of how we started our day this morning. It was difficult, maybe a little tough to hold a candle to that November rain. We'll have details on when it exits and what is in store as we head into Thanksgiving coming up right after this.